Hello, everybody. It's me, Bo Shevasu. Welcome to today's show. It is September 4th, Sunday at 3:10 p.m. in the afternoon on this gorgeous day here in the Pacific Northwest. My name is Bo Shevasu, your host. Some people even call this The Bo Show. But really, it's not about me. It's about showing you some fantastic reviews that I have created for you and you alone. Now, what makes me unique as an influencer is my videos, I go out into the world and I film these products in action. Some of them work and some of them don't. And so sometimes I am brutally honest. There are a lot of people who get on these things and they want to sell you some stuff, give you the finger guns and with their slicked back hair. I'm not into that, even though I do make a little bit of commission off of some of these purchases. That's no secret. I need to buy groceries for my family somehow. But at the end of the day, it's about me serving you. Honestly, it's built within my DNA, my Christian faith. I am here to love you. And sometimes that means telling you guys the truth about some products that are pretty awesome here on Amazon. Some of them are pretty rotten, but I'm not going to tell you about those. You can actually find those over on my YouTube channel, but I'm not pointing you away from this website right here, because here and here alone is where you can chat live with me. If you were to see this live broadcast over on my YouTube channel, which is a very successful channel over there, but when people type there, I can't actually see them, which is so sad. But here, you can say anything you'd like here in the chat. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to try an emoji right there. That is a clown. I wish they really had a mime emoji because I don't like clowns. Did you know I'm a professionally trained mime? That's right. You get to hear all sorts of juicy gossip and information about yours truly, Bo Shevasu, here on this beautiful day. As a matter of fact, earlier today, I was near my old stomping grounds, Pike Place Market in Seattle, Washington. If you've ever been around there, they throw lots of fish around and they have a big brass pig there, and as well as lots of buskers. Do you know what a busker is? It's a street performer. Now, of course, you probably knew that. You're a well-educated audience. And I used to actually do busking around there in Pike Place Market as a mime. Now, what I've noticed with pantomime is a lot of people know what a mime is. You see them in cartoons like the Animaniacs, or perhaps you see a viral video of a mime at SeaWorld, and you see it on TikTok and he's making fun of people, and it's just hilarious. But very few people have actually seen a mime in real life. And that surprises me because it's a fantastic craft that crosses cultural barriers. You don't need to know someone else's language in order to communicate a comedy routine to them through pantomime. And so, yes, this is all being derived based off of the fact that I put a clown emoji in the chat below. But that's simply because there is known as this rivalry between mimes and clowns, as well as magicians, but we won't go into them. So mimes do not like clowns, nor do clowns like mimes. It's just a friendly rivalry, except one time the gloves did come off. Ho-ho! That's funny because mimes wear gloves, which I've actually reviewed some here on Amazon. They're absolutely horrible. So I won't recommend those in today's live broadcast. As a matter of fact, if in fact you see anything that I'm talking about here today, I do have it highlighted in the carousel below. And so you, my materialistic minions, if you're into building your own chicken coop, for example, and you want an automatic door, this thing is absolutely magical. Automate, automate, automate. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this, I film B-roll to show me with the products in action. None of this footage is derived from the company's website. These are not commercials where I just sit there and I push play on a commercial that's already designed to kind of manipulate your emotions. So I give you some real world hints, tips, and tricks that you might not actually find in the instructions. But first, as with any professional show, what must we do? We must roll the bumper and roll. Wasn't that simply fantastic? Now, let's move right into reviews. What's beautiful about this is that you can still see my little face up there, almost like one of those Japanese game shows. You know how they have the little reactions up there and they all are laughing like this along with you? That's also to prove to you that this is live, because some people may see these pre-recorded videos and say, Bo, this is just a cop-out. It's not really live. It is live, and I'm able to give you some behind the scenes and more intricacies and nuances and a director's cut, so to speak, about some of these videos. Now, what you're going to be listening in today on is the top 10 reviews. Now, these reviews are not necessarily my top 10 most popular of all time, because sometimes those change seasonally. But these are the reviews as of yesterday and the day before that have garnered the most support. And these specifically are reviews that you, if you were to go on any of these products down below, and if you were to scroll down, you will see this whole video. So if at some point you miss something in this video, you can simply just go to some of these pages like, oh, I really like that refrigerator. You can click on the refrigerator and you can scroll down and you can see me there without the mustache actually showing you the refrigerator and talking about some of the things. Cool, huh? All right, so I have a chicken coop. We put chickens in, and one of the most vital things that you need to do is seek how to automate your life. I was talking with my friend yesterday, and he was mentioning the importance of time. Sergeant Q, actually, he's actually an influencer here on Amazon. Brilliant fellow, quite funny. And he posted something on Facebook about how valuable time is, and it just kind of slips away because that's really all that we have. And I posted an observation that I heard someone else much smarter than me say, and it was unsuccessful people purchase products and material things. Okay, wait, hear me out. Successful people or wealthy people, they purchase time. Interesting, huh? So I've tried to follow that philosophy. So a person, let me give you a real world example, okay? So an unsuccessful person you could call them poor people, but that doesn't necessarily make you successful if in fact you have a bunch of money in your savings account. But let's say, for example, you have a chicken coop that's manual, okay? You go out every single day, morning and evening, and you take 5 minutes of your time to do that. And that stacks up. And then you ask yourself, well, how much is my time worth? Is it $15 an hour, $40 an hour, $200 an hour? If you don't know, just make up a number. But have a number that you extrapolate that out. And all of a sudden, within a year, you're thinking, wow, I just spent $500 worth of time going out and opening and closing this chicken door. Now, of course, some people like that. So that's therapeutic for some people. So I don't want to throw too many stones, but for me, I don't like doing that, especially if I'm gone. So I dropped $180 and I got an automatic chicken door. At first I was like, is this really going to be worth it? I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. And yet plus it builds in the peace of mind. Not only are you saving time, but I can go to sleep knowing that, oh yeah, I didn't forget to close the chicken door. They're nice and safe and cuddled in their chicken coop, and there will be no predators out to get them in the middle of the night, like possums or raccoons, right? So do you understand my analogy where, unsuccessful people purchase products, large screen TVs, for example? Nothing against that. I love watching Netflix, but people who are wealthy purchase time. And so I try to automate as much as I can. So always ask yourself that. So if you are creating your next side hustle, ask yourself, as I'm starting this, how can I eventually automate this? How can I get other people to do it and I can give them a cut? There's nothing evil about that. I trust that you are an ethical person and you will fairly compensate them. Nor is there anything evil about taking a little off the top and skimming some off the top, because after all, you thought of the idea and you need to buy groceries yourself, right? So really it's you're not taking into their slice of the pie. You're actually making the pie bigger, and everybody gets a bigger slice. That's an analogy for economics that some people don't quite understand. They think that the more successful you are in society, that means that the slice of pie is eating into other people's slices of pie, right? For example, Jeff Bezos on Amazon. Oh, he's got a big slice of pie. That means he's eaten into the little guy's pie and we get less. No, he's actually making a larger pie. Case in point, right here, Jeff Bezos is responsible for Amazon.com. That means that I can get on and I can show you these amazing products and I get a cut. I don't have to work as much out in the fields because I can do this and I enjoy this and this is fun and it's pretty good money. So you see what I mean by Jeff Bezos? Yes, he's got a big slice of pie, but he made that pie bigger and making my, my slice of pie bigger also. Does that make sense? Right. So that's really how you should consider economics instead of this woe is me victim mentality that makes people very, very, they feel validated. Do you notice that? The quickest way to feel validated is to be a victim. Not to say that there are actually some true victims out there who, a bad circumstance has, they've fallen by accident or they're driving along and they get hit by another car. Sure, that happens. But I would warrant to say that's like 1% of all the bad things that people experience. And like 99% is they are our own choices. They really are. I'm just going to say that. It's okay to take responsibility for your choices. It is. As a matter of fact, I would admire you even more if you were in a bad situation and you said, you know what? I made my bed and I'm going to sleep in it. I'd be like, right on. As a matter of fact, how can I help you more? But the woe is me victimization, that's when I'm like, I'm not really sure if I want to help very much because I don't know if you're actually making this up. You know what I mean? Anyway, not meaning to be cynical here. Let's talk about chicken doors, shall we? All right, let's
Everybody,
roll it.
I wanted to share with you guys this quick tip on how to install your run chicken on your chicken coop. Now you could have an urban chicken coop, something like this, or a bigger one. But you will notice that with these smaller type coops, if you were to look in there, there's not a lot of headroom to actually mount this thing, because you have to keep in mind when you mount this, you're not just taking into account this space, but also twice as much, because eventually this door slides up, all the way up. So you need to take into account all that space. So that's the reason why for most of these smaller chicken coops, this won't fit, which is why I would recommend, I'll show you kind of where I'm at partway through the process. So you'll see right here, I've actually cut a hole in the fence. So there is plenty of room for this to go up. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and snip the very last one and down that goes. And now if we were to put this right here, that will fit absolutely perfectly, and it will seal them all in at night so rodents, raccoons, possums can't actually access the chickens. And you will also see that there's three little screw holes right there, and I'm just gonna get some baling wire and thread it through there to attach to the chicken wire.
Isn't that amazing, right? So that's a great example of buying time. Yes, initially there's quite a bit of cost associated with an automatic chicken door as opposed to buying a, $5 worth of lumber and kind of making my own, but this automates the process. Again, some people enjoy going out and opening and closing their chicken door. Don't know why, but for me, that was just one thing I was willing to pay extra for to automate. It's the security, it's the peace of mind. What's so interesting about this concept of buying or paying a little more to automate your life, especially the redundant things every single day, I communicated this same message when I was volunteering just a few months ago in Jordan. We were up there on the Syrian border, and I actually run a nonprofit film studio. And for the past 11, 12 years, I've gone all over the world to over 33 different countries, filming for missionaries and churches and cool ministries out in the world. And in this particular instance, I was coming in a teacher capacity. And I was teaching these wonderful people there on the Syrian border. They're incredibly bright and probably the friendliest people I have ever met in any country I've been to. I know there's a friendly person in every country, but as a whole, the culture as a whole is incredibly gregarious and welcoming. I got fed by an old guy with his hand. He was like, have some rice. And he just kind of stuffed it in my mouth. I was praying that he had washed his hands. But incredibly nice people. So I was there teaching in this classroom in this church about this concept of how can you automate something, because time equals money. And that's a fascinating concept to try to communicate in warm cultures because they are very relationship based. A person in Guatemala, for example, will take all day to paint a door with hanging out with his friends. And meanwhile, I'm just like, if we go rent an automatic paint sprayer at Home Depot for $40, we can spray this thing in 15 minutes with a nice even coat. And then we can go play soccer with our friends. So I'm still relationship based, but I'm looking at things like, hey, let's button this up and move on. How can we automate this process? And they look at things like, I could save money instead of renting something, and I could hang out with my friends all day. So that's how they look at things. And it's a bit of a culture shock if you volunteer in some of these countries and you see that they're very warm cultural relationship based, which is a lot of what Jordan is. Very easygoing, taking your time. If they say dinner's at 6, they expect you to show up at 6:15, 7 o'clock, maybe 8. They're going to sit around, offer you some coffee, talk to you, ask you questions about the United States, which was great. It was so much fun, you guys. So when you go there, you just have to take a deep breath and recognize that to them, time does not equal money. However, I still needed to communicate that message because a lot of these Syrian refugees, they need money in order to survive for their families. And so I still needed to get that across. Like, look, when you've got your photographer hat on, because I was teaching them small business, how to create a small business through photography. So when you have that professional hat on, you need to charge for your time. Time is money. And we went around and we did this fascinating exercise, trying to determine how much their hourly rate is, which is so funny. And I didn't speak their language. We had a translator, but you could tell they were yelling at each other and laughing across the room like, you charge too much, you charge too little. And it was just great. And that's you iterate, you change your hourly rate depending on if you get too many clients, then you raise your rate to try to weed some of those folks out. If you don't have enough clients, maybe lower your rate, but not too much, because then you might be, they might look at you like a Walmart, that type of quality. And then you get less people because you're so cheap. So I talked to them about those lessons and the importance of automating your life in the same way that this Run Chicken on this Best Choices Products chicken coop is able to automate my life as well. Yes, I did buy this chicken coop off of Amazon. They sell everything here, including full houses. Did you know that? But if you are looking for an urban chicken coop, this fits 3 chickens perfectly. And it's very versatile in a way where you can position it any way you'd like. You can put this cool little chicken door there. And that's what I did right on the front. And the chickens are happy. They give us eggs every day. As a matter of fact, they are such happy chickens. When my daughters go out, they run up to them and they just kind of stand there right in front of them, waiting to be picked up or scratched under their wings. I grew up with chickens and my chickens never did that. I didn't like them. They come up and peck at you and they had beady little eyes, but they're so fluffy and so wonderful. So these are nice. They're nice chickens. We take care of them and they take care of us. Lovely. Isn't that a cool looking chicken coop? Amazing. As a matter of fact, when I was playing the video, I forgot that I had even purchased this thing off of Amazon. And so it's kind of neat to be still in an urban environment and yet still kind of have elements where you're not quite dependent on going to the grocery store. That's just wise to be, I wouldn't say fully autonomous. That's kind of impossible in an urban type situation. But you can have things like this, and we have a nice long chicken run for them, which is funny that this door is called Run Chicken instead of Chicken Run. Maybe they couldn't call it Chicken Run because that's what is that? It's a claymation movie, isn't it? Chicken Run? I love Chicken Run. The chickens are not organized. And then it cuts. And then there's one of the chickens saying, order, order, everybody get together. And it's just so great. Chicken Run. I gotta watch that again. Mr. Tweedy, the chickens are not organized. Oh, they're forming, Mrs. Tweedy. I know it. I've seen them. They're organized. All right, cool. Hey, let's move on to a refrigerator. I know. This might seem totally random. Like, okay, Bo, you just talked about a chicken gate. What the heck? Now we're moving on to refrigerators. Is that where you keep your eggs or something? Well, you could. But again, this broadcast is all about what other people are finding, which immediately boosts it to the top of my reports, and I focus on those things. So this refrigerator, for example, is one of those items. It's not me, it's everybody out in the world. And so you kind of have a unique sneak peek as to what people are clicking on and what they're looking at. Isn't that fascinating? So this is what was one of the most popular things, second most popular thing that I've created a video for out of the thousands of video reviews that I have on Amazon. Check it out. Think about this for a moment. If this refrigerator works for the general public every single day, people coming in and out getting wares and drinks and odds and ends, it's probably gonna work for you as well. As you can see, it's got a lock right on the side, just on the off chance it's a beer fridge, you don't want kids to access it. The height is, I would say about 5 foot. The shelves are 4 of them, and you can see that there are different configurations. You can put them all up and down all over the place. It is not in fact magnet on the front. It's only magnetic on the side over on the right. So it's right over there if you wanted to put postcards over there. Overall, I am just so pleased how this vintage, almost retro looking refrigerator works and operates. So that's it. And by the way, if you are ever at this bistro in Buckley, Washington, right on Main Street, think about this. It was playing. I don't know why it was playing again. But I walked in there and I immediately recognized this as something that is on Amazon. Amazing. Matter of fact, my dad works at a local Amazon warehouse here in the Seattle area. He absolutely loves it, by the way. And they sell large items like this, kayaks, refrigerators. So that's specifically what he focuses on. And he's really good at it and he loves it. He used to be in other departments like Amazon Go. As a matter of fact, I was just in Bellevue today, and Amazon Go is the just walk out technology, and it's pretty cool. You feel like you're shoplifting. I think they've shut down 1 or 2 locations in Seattle, I think, or maybe they shut down Amazon 4-star. But Seattle is, Bellevue, yeah, it's clean, it's nice. So we just did a half marathon in Bellevue this morning. Yes, I woke up at 4:30 a.m. to go run a half marathon, and I am still plucky and on fire and ready to live stream for you guys, because that's how much I care for you. But anyway, where was I? Amazon Go. Let me tell you about Amazon Go. It's amazing. Pretend right here that this bistro is set up. I walk in through a turnstile, similar to a subway, and I scan my phone in the same way that you would scan a ticket going into a subway. Not the restaurant subway, but an actual underground train subway. Well, you scan your phone and that's all you need. You just walk around and whatever you want to buy, you pick up and you walk out. And it charges you. Incredible. I think the fastest thing, because I tried to break the system, I think the fastest thing I purchased was it 14 seconds? I had a stopwatch going from outside on the street, going in, scanning in, grabbing some peanut butter M&Ms and sprinting out. And the guy standing there was just laughing because they do have an Amazon employee there just to put a face to the automation, to greet you, to smile, to hand you a bag, things like that. And he was just laughing because I was like, I want to see how fast I can do this. And I think it was like 14 seconds, maybe 17 seconds. Because there's a frustrating pause right when you go up and you hold the phone above the scanner and it goes beep, beep, and the little doors open. And at that point, I just ran in, grabbed my M&Ms, and then ran up to the thing, and it opened, and then I sprinted outside. It felt like I was shoplifting something. And you may be like, well, I know what kind of technology that is, Bo. It's just RFID. They just scan it when you walk out. It's not. There's no special barcodes on any of these products. Yeah, it's like this water bottle right here. No special barcodes on it or anything. You go up, pull it off the shelf, walk out, and then within 30 seconds, you get a little pleasant chime on your app, and it says, we just charged your Amazon account $1.19. Yeah. Isn't that incredible? And so some of you may lament that and say, oh, they're getting rid of jobs. Believe me, there's a lot of jobs that go into this technology. It's just, you might have to be a bit smarter because IT based rather than I'm just going to stand here and go beep, 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 because most people can do that. You know, a 15-year-old checker can do that. But in order to put this technology into these sensors or whatever the heck they have that is watching you as you walk around the store, this eye in the sky, and sensing what you pick up, what you put back. I actually tried to do that once. I went up with both hands. I know, I'm just such a stinker, aren't I? I tried to break this Just Walk Out technology in Amazon Go, and I went up and I got like 2 sodas, and then I took it, and then I crisscrossed my arms, my hands like this, and then I took one. See, I told you I'm a mime, right? Yeah, right. And guess what? Still charged me for the correct product. I know. Go figure, right? So you might be like, Bo, you just messed up their inventory. I was trying to break it, okay? But they got me. They still charged me correctly for the correct soda that I walked out with that lovely day. Couldn't believe it. All right, so maybe someday the rest of us will have the ability to not have to stand behind a cash register, but instead we can relax at home and watch Netflix and just let technology charge people. Wouldn't that be nice? Right. So a very well put together. Yeah, look at that. I think those are like smoked cheeses in there. Oh, my wife and I got some smoked cheese yesterday. It's amazing. Oh, there's like this old guy who does some smoked cheeses around here. My buddy Aaron, I just talked about him. He's Sergeant Q here on Amazon Influencer, and he was talking about how they have a cheese guy, and now this cheese guy, pretty sure it's the same cheese guy in the local butcher shop. We walked in there. Oh, it just smells so smoky and sweet in there. And there's the cheese. You get the cheese, you cut a thin slice off. Oh, it's just mouth-watering. It's almost like butter melting on your tongue. Maybe that's a bad description. You're probably like, ugh, why would you put butter right on your tongue? But it's rich and it's smooth and it's smoky, and smoked cheese is so good. Hey, let's move on to this Assault bike. Assault Fitness, not like assault as in like attack bike. But this Assault bike is also one of the top sellers here from yesterday. And let's take a look.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Bo. I wanted to come to you today and show you a real-world demonstration of this Assault bike. This is what the gyms use, so let's answer a few questions that you might not be able to get just by looking at this Amazon listing. Whew. All right, here is a little close-up look at this thing. First of all, squishy, comfortable seat. We've got some grippy pedals. These are the mountain bike style flats, so they grip on either side. If you wanted to target just the upper body, you could theoretically pop your feet forward and just kind of hang out on these, but it's hard enough. As you can tell, I'm still out of breath even after doing this for just a tiny bit. It is a full body workout. It gets the heart rate up super fast. Let's take a look at this LCD display.
By the way, a little behind the scenes here. My buddy owns this gym, and I always in these videos whenever I'm allowed to go in and say like, hey, what's your top of the line equipment that you love? And his wife was there and she was really cool, and she pointed out some things that I should highlight. But anyway, if you're in Enumclaw here, Take Back Your Life. It's a fantastic fitness community, because it's not just a facility, it's a community. And so they have this Assault bike here, and every time I get on one of these bikes, I am so blown away how fast it gets your heart rate up. Like, I ran 13.1 miles today. It was a conversation pace, just going along with my wife. It was a fun time, but my heart rate really didn't get that out of control, that high. This you can get on an Assault bike for 60 seconds, and for some reason, it just targets your whole body. It's not just your core, it's not just your arms, it's not just your legs, it's everything. And your lungs are heaving, going in and out, in and out. So you don't have to work out as intensely as I do here. But there's a reason why there's so many CrossFit gyms, but you don't necessarily have to do CrossFit. But those kind of high intensity gyms really like this style assault bike. And so such as Take Back Your Life here in Enumclaw. So if you're looking to get into shape quickly, these people are absolutely fantastic. Oh, by the way, there's a Concept 2 rower back there. I reviewed that one also. That's also selling pretty well. But again, I'm only showing you the top 10 here because I don't want to take all day here and bore you too much. But if you are looking for something in your home gym to get your heart rate up fast and make you a healthy person quickly, the assault bike is intense, and there's a reason why gyms have this thing. Actually, it's reasonably priced too. I was actually looking at treadmills yesterday, and treadmills can be expensive. They really, if you get a robust one, if you get like a rickety one that flaps and clanks all the time, then they're pretty cheap. But this is reasonably priced because this thing is solid. It does not go anywhere. There I am trying to heave and get my breath back. But yeah, a fantastic facility, amazing people, love them dearly, and I'm impressed that they take care of their community enough to invest in something as nice as this assault bike. You know what's even funnier is that it's not just an piece of exercise equipment, but it was a speaker that I saw there, and that is right behind this one. This is number 4 of the top sellers, and
This little powerhouse is phenomenal.
And all I did was go in and tell people how it works, because I was there working out and I heard this music kind of being toted around. Because see, in the background you can go and you can do dumbbells, you can do the squat station, and if you want to rock out, this thing is fantastic because it's wireless, and you can load MP3s onto a flash drive and you can put it right there up into that port. You can charge your iPhone at the same time. You can connect via Bluetooth if all your music is on a smartphone. So if you ever have an event, even if it's just once a year, where you are having multiple people out in your backyard or a gathering, it's just nice to put music around people because music is atmosphere. If you've ever gone into a restaurant and there's no music, it's just instantly awkward. But music is atmosphere.
If your phone doesn't have very good battery life, you can charge it at the same time. There is a microphone input as well. Very easy to turn on, boots up like that. You can crank this thing up or you can turn it all the way down depending on your music style and taste. But overall, if you need something for your wedding, your birthday, your event, your gym, this is a fantastic portable option, and it's no wonder it's so highly rated here on Amazon.
Nice. No, so same location, same facility, really wonderful people. So a shout out to them for allowing me to go into Take Back Your Life and check out their fantastic speaker system, as well as their bike, which Albert says right here that it's a new version of my old Schwinn Airdyne. Yeah, you know what? I wonder how many things are repurposed out there and they just tweaked it just a little bit. And they're like, well, now it's got a nice new brand. And all the CrossFit gyms swoon and they say, oh, this is amazing. So yeah, stationary bikes have been around for a long time, especially the fan types. But these things are robust and they get, boy, hundreds of people each week using these things. So the proof is in the pudding. If it's still in one piece and it's still rocking in a smooth way, man, it's great. Speaking of rocking, rock out to music. You will also notice that as I'm talking, there's no music being played on this thing. So everything is a voiceover. And that's because actual country music was being played on this thing. And if you don't know, YouTube doesn't allow country music because country music is bad. No, I'm just going to say any kind of copyright music, YouTube doesn't allow. Or if they do, they're going to put other people's ads on your video and they're going to give you a little slap on the wrist. So none of my videos actually have copywritten music. I'm tempted to get like some top hits or something and play them on my live stream, but my guess is Amazon's lawyers are probably going to be ahead of that. And someday they're probably going to go through past broadcasts and be like, wait a second, you were playing the Beastie Boys at the beginning of every single video. And they might ding me if I didn't use my own licensed music, which I do. So fascinating little behind the scenes, like, whoa, how come I can't hear music from it? Also, if there was music playing on this speaker, it wouldn't sound very good because I'm filming on my iPhone, and you would just be like, well, it sounds like I'm inside a tin can. Well, that's because I'm picking it up with my iPhone's, microphone. Makes sense? So this is a very, very versatile thing, and not only can you hook up your a microphone to this and use it as a PA system in the event of a wedding or large gathering to have a toast, for example, but this right here is toted all around Take Back Your Life here in Enumclaw, and they use this to have clients rock out. Amazing, huh? Yeah. All right, hey, let's move on to something really fun. This is a drill press. I've always wanted a drill press before, and then I realized that they're very reasonably priced here on Amazon.
Hello, little minions. It is me, Bo Shevasu. Now, if you're anything like me, you're wondering before you buy something, what level of putting something together are you getting yourself into? So I'm going to walk you through very briefly what I'm doing to put together this drill press. First step is get this column, put it on the base. You'll see that there are three points at which that aligns there. And now we're going to go ahead and put these bolts 1, 2, and 3.
So, by the way, it's rather difficult oftentimes to do these video reviews because I have to read the instructions and then I have to interpolate those instructions. Is interpolate the correct word? Not interpret, but interpolate. Is that the right word? Regardless, I take the instructions and I express them in the common vernacular. Is that clear? And oftentimes these instructions, they're horrible. They're so, especially if they are from an overseas location and English is not necessarily their first language, which, as you've heard me say in past broadcasts, I don't fault them for that. I actually really respect people who know more than one language. Unlike myself, I only know one. But when it comes to selling a product that is at 2,991 reviews on it, you might want to spend $100 and hire a English major in the United States to say, hey, can you go through our instruction manual and just write and just correct it? We'll pay you $100 an hour to do that. I really wish more companies would do that. But for some reason, they're just stuck in their little zone and they create these horrible, horrible manuals. And so my job is to come along and make these step-by-step videos that show me what actually telling you what not to do. Like, for example, this right here, it's so greasy. Oh, I got grease all over my hands. So here I'm basically saying, get a paper towel when you're installing this thing. Otherwise, you're just going to have a mess. And by the way, I'm just skipping ahead in this really, really briefly because the whole video, obviously, you can watch if, in fact, you are interested in getting this drill press. And so, the drill press I used to, how do I say this ethically? So I am an FFL, if you know what that means. I am a dealer of certain things. Legally, 100% legal, don't worry. Amazon Live Moderator, everything is legal here. But basically what I used this for was to drill out certain items for my FFL. Isn't that cool? Really cool. And so you can do that also if you are an FFL or maybe you, but anyway, it's a great drill press to have. It's a little wobbly. If you have a workbench, it makes it a lot easier. Hey, let's go ahead and check this out, shall we? Actually,
That just goes right through like butter. Oh, that's amazing. All the way through. Oh, that is so quiet. It worked. Fantastic. And of course, the table is aligned to go right through there, so I don't drill through my table. That's it. 5 out of 5 stars. If you guys need something reasonably priced, highly recommended.
It's true. It's true. There are some tools that I have put off for such a long time because they're expensive. Tools are expensive. And for the longest time, I thought, well, if I'm going to invest in a tool, I have to get the best of the best because I'm going to have it forever. If you're familiar with Adam Savage from Mythbusters, he once said, buy the cheapest tools possible when you're first starting out. Why, you may ask? Well, as those tools are used, most likely they will break because that's the nature of cheap things. They just conventionally don't last as long as the more expensive, typically meaning higher quality tools. And the fact that they're breaking is an indicator that you're using them. And if you're using something a lot, that is when you should go out and buy the tool that is high quality and probably more expensive. So what that does is it's just a brilliant way of assuring you that you're not surrounding yourself with high-end tools that just sit there and you never use. And you walk by this ratchet set, you're like, man, it's kind of a shame that I dropped $800 on that thing because I barely use it. Really, I use this tool over here. And yeah, you see what I mean? So that was Adam Savage. I'm not taking credit for that. He's a brilliant fellow off of Mythbusters. So if you aren't sure if you need a drill press, you know what? Get something cheap here on Amazon. And if it breaks, then get something more expensive. But for this is the cheapest drill press that I could find and fantastic ratings. And this is it's no wonder this is one of my top selling products, right? Because of this video right here. So if you are interested in a drill press, they're so handy. It's so much better instead of a hand drill that's all over the place. It's all wonky. This is guarantees precision. Just pull that little lever and down it goes. That's just amazing.
Goes right through like butter. Oh, that's amazing. All the way through.
Outstanding. Let's move on to this baby gate. Yes, it's a baby gate. I would say the number one takeaway with this pressure mounted baby gate is you have to snap down the lever. I noticed that some people are a little critical of this because so I'm actually going to narrate over this because I might change a few of my words, but as it goes in, you push this down, but see that lever on the left right there? Just kind of, you kind of have to pull it with one hand in order to lock this in. But the beautiful thing about having a baby gate that's pressure mounted is that it keeps your baby or dog, I think most people use these for puppies, honestly. You don't have to compromise the integrity of your house and drill in with this permanent looking bracket. And then when you want to sell your house, you got to spackle over it. Or if you want to take the baby gate down, there are these permanent brackets on there. And so, a baby gate is like this is fantastic because it's pressure mounted and it stays put and it still closes. You would think something that's pressure mounted like a shower curtain, for example, the pressure mounted shower curtain rods, those are pushing against each other. This is kind of shaped like a U. Does that make sense? So it's pressured like this and then it goes down. So this thing has to be very stiff in order to maintain that much pressure against the sides. So this house right here was actually a professionally staged house, real estate house. And I was so blown away by this baby gate or dog gate that I was like, hey, can I film this? This is really, really neat. It's a really cool product. And lo and behold, it's one of my best sellers. And maybe it's because I go through and I talk about what you got to keep in mind to open this thing, even with one hand. Brilliant, huh? So this keeps little Fifi, the puppy, from tumbling down the stairs. And also, I'm filming this on a gimbal. Super, super smooth, isn't it? Buttery smooth. Gimbals are interesting. Yeah, so smooth. Oh, love that shot. Oh, boy, my inner filmmaker is tingling. Yeah. Hey, let's move on to a nailer. Nailer? What the heck, Bo? These are really random things. Again, these are what the metrics are saying, that people are buying these things. So I'm just giving you the top 10. If I go into the top 50, you're going to be overwhelmed. But top 10, little bite-sized videos here. Let's roll it.
Professional roofer's perspective. Obviously, it's nice and flat on the tip right there, so you've got your shingle slapped down and it slides along. But what differentiates this from a lot of roofing...
By the way, that drone shot was my shot. And this roofing gun was from the actual professional roofers. It's so worn down. And I was looking at it like, that looks like something that's sold on Amazon. And so basically what I'm saying is that this is designed for angles. So if you're going to try to use this to build a fence, probably wouldn't be the best. However, if you are putting a roof on your barn, or you're looking to save some bucks and put your own roof on, man, they just flew with this thing. They just went ticka, 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 to the point where people on the local Facebook gossip group pages, they thought that there was some other events taking place. It's like, no, it's a roofing gun. Okay, it's yeah. So some people hear things funny. But this thing is very robust, and clearly it's been through a lot of roofs because there was some wear and tear on this thing. So this is one of those top selling products for some reason. Nice slappy trigger. Oh, I love those things. It's just good feedback instead of the squishy ones. It's crisp. That's the right word for it. A crisp trigger. Very nice, huh? Hey, let's move on to chairs. Hello, everybody. It's me, Bo Chevsu. I was so pleased to actually see side by side these two colors. See that right there? Oh, finally next to each other, so you can do a little comparison before you buy any of these. Now, of course, you can see their... Okay, I'm actually going to stop it right there because I want to share with you guys a better chair. Are you ready for this? These are metal. What I have linked below is the same manufacturer, exact same thing, same design, except for one improvement, which is why I recommend the one in the carousel below, as opposed to these ones. The improvement is these have a wood layer on it. And so it's so much more comfortable to sit on actual wood instead of cold, sweaty metal. It's just, unless you grab one of these cushions that you can see up there and you put it on the actual chair, then and only then it makes these metal chairs more comfortable. But who knows? Maybe it's purposeful in this wonderful little bistro that they wanted chairs that weren't too comfortable to kind of turn over people and get them out. You know, you don't see lazy boys everywhere in restaurants. Otherwise, people would fall asleep and they would never leave. Right? So what I have linked below is almost the same design, but I would say it's even better, simply because the fact that there is a wood slab on top. And I do actually have another video. If you were to go to this listing right here, you'll scroll down and you'll see my pretty little face actually showing the video of the chairs with the wooden cover. But I wanted to kind of do a compare and contrast, so to speak, of this same maker of this chair, but what else they have made, and how personally I wouldn't get this, but rather I would get the one that's linked in the carousel below. So if you're looking for kind of a retro looking chair, these are cool. They are stackable. The metal ones are better outside. My wife actually got these exact ones, but we put them out on our porch because metal is okay. It's okay to get these all rusty because we kind of live in a farm type environment, and it's nice. It's nice to have that wear and tear. It shows character, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, so there you go. Hey, TV trays. Have you ever had a TV tray before? They're magical. I know this feels like something straight out of the 1960s. So these TV trays, my wife got, and for some reason they're selling very, very well. Maybe it's because I did a video here showing you that you can spray paint them if you don't like the color.
Guys, I now have the ability to watch my Netflix and not get up because I have a TV tray. I know this is so 60s, but this TV tray is actually designed for guests to come over, and I wanted to show you guys kind of some first impressions about this TV tray that you otherwise might not be able to get just looking on this Amazon listing. Okay, so first of all, my first impressions are it's robust, it's sturdy. I grew up with some TV trays and they kind of folded up, but when they folded up, they're pretty chintzy. It basically rivaled the quality of the paper plates that I was using. These, on the other hand, they're sturdy. I almost think that this is like solid wood. I was expecting some sort of plasticky lightweight thing. So they're sturdy, they're heavy. This is how they fold up, which is kind of cool. So you see that, like that? So the TV trays that I grew up with had little clips here, and they'd actually unclip, and then you'd fold the whole thing over. This one has a clever little hinge here and here, meaning that it collapses like that. Isn't that cool? So you could almost do this one-handed as you had your plate of food and you're walking out and you're gonna be watching your Hulu. You can almost just kind of pop it down. Now, also you're probably wondering, Bo, this isn't the right product because what you're holding is a blue one when clearly the listing has this side, kind of this marble looking.
So the marble looking feature on there, I don't really care for. I don't. It might match your decor, but it's a wood tray. It's robust and it's sturdy, but it's wood. So when they put the faux marble on there, it was a little weird. So what my beautiful wife did is she went and got an 80-cent can of spray paint and she spray painted the surface. And now it matches and it doesn't have the marble on there. So I would recommend this TV tray simply because it works really well and it's a very, very good design. As in, like, it's robust. It will keep your plates from spilling off all over the place. So we like to have family members over and guests and sometimes Bible studies, and it's just nice to eat your apple pie on these things instead of trying to balance your paper plate on your lap, which is quite funny because my grandparents and even parents, when they had guests over, what would they do? They'd bring out the fine china. And now it's like the opposite, where when I have guests come over, it's like, hey, put away the good plates and get the paper plates. It's because there's a lot of dishes. I don't want to do dishes. Fine china. Wasn't that a weird phenomenon where when you got married, you had to get fine china? And you probably have your grandma's china, or at least a cup or two from her. And at first it was really hard to use them because they would break, because they're not the most robust of things typically. Some of the fine china is actually like really, really solid. But my grandparents would have this china that they would give to my mom, and then my mom would give to us. And it's very, very good stuff, but eventually it does wear out. And I'm not necessarily heartbroken over that, of some of these things breaking. Let's say my daughter's spills her juice cup and she has this cup from my grandma. I'm a little sad, but I would much rather risk breaking memorabilia actually using it instead of the opposite extreme, which is not using something and just putting it in a china cabinet and never experiencing that joy. I would much rather have people over and risk breaking something, because that's how these things are supposed to be used. And I see a lot of people out there with beautiful, shiny Jeeps, for example, that are just absolutely spotless. And I'm like, okay, what trails are you going on, or what have you been on? And they're like, oh, no. We don't take this thing off-road. It's like, it's an off-road vehicle. It's supposed to get dinged up. And I recognize that they're very expensive things, and I don't want to throw too many stones. Some people just like the off-road feeling, and they think that's luxury, driving on a paved road. Okay, I still think that's a little weird. But another example is my pocket knife right here. It's really, really worn, very worn. And that's simply because I use it a lot. And so when I see people's pocket knives that are absolutely shiny and super, super nice, and I ask them, whoa, how long have you had this? Did you just buy it? Oh, no. I've had that in my pocket for 2 years. It's like, but it looks brand new. When was the last time you used it? So I think it's a badge of honor when something does have wear on it. If you're getting older like I am, 36 years old, if you're getting little wrinkles and stuff, that means you've lived life. That's good. If you have smile lines like the little crow's feet, that means you have smiled. That's good. I think that's incredibly attractive for my wife to have this proof that she has this amazing buttery personality, and she laughs and she smiles. And so that's important, to put some wear and tear on things. And that might be an indicator that you need to put some wear and tear on something around your house, that may in fact have a little too much newness on it. You know what? Go use it. Go use it, even if it means risk breaking it and losing that memory. And I almost wonder if that's why people cling to these things, like fine china, for example. Say, oh, well, my grandma had this, and if it breaks, then I lose the memory of my grandma. It's like, that's a very, very sad way to live. It really is, to tie your memories to objects, because what if your house goes up in a fire? Oh, well, I'm going to mitigate that. You know, things happen, things break, and to attach your identity and memories to materialistic things, that's why my identity is in Jesus, because he does not break. He does not go away. My house could go up in flames, and yet I am still strong as myself because I didn't lose my identity or parts of my memories that have been lost. I haven't, because the worth that he gives me is far, far, far better. Isn't that cool? So yeah, not meaning to preach at you here, but that's why I'm a Christian. It's just a stable way to live, and I think it's incredibly logical. I think it's illogical not to live like that, you know? So I am a person of logic. That's why I'm a Christian, right? Some people think that's opposite. The more thinking you do, the more sense it does actually make. But anyway, there you go, everybody. Those are my top reviews right there. Lastly, I do want to point out these tactical hair clips. Yes, these are tactical hair clips, and I wanted to point these out because my buddy just texted me today. He is a really cool missionary dude, and I actually met him in Haiti. No, the country right next door. Dominican Republic. There we go. It's kind of split. The Dominican Republic. I was there doing some videos for YWAM, if you've ever heard of them. And then also a veterans organization that takes veterans with PTSD out into the field, and they serve poor people. And it's totally awesome. Well, I gave some tactical hair clips, because I have a bunch of them, to my buddy, and he texted me today, and he said, hey, so I went through TSA with my tactical hair clips. Do you know what happened? He said it went through 3 levels until finally it got to the top supervisor. And he was looking at these things, and finally he just said, oh yeah, it's just a hair clip. You can go. And it is just a hair clip. It doesn't have a sharpened edge. Otherwise, it would be damaging to the hair. So these are essentially multi-tool hair clips. And if you are one of those people who values being prepared and having a tool on you, especially a minimalist tool, I would recommend these. So if you're an urban warrior who is in a situation where you'd like to cut through some packing tape from an Amazon purchase, no longer do you need to flip out a pocket knife. Most women don't have pocket knives, and they're searching through trying to find their keys, and instead, they have a tactical hair clip they can pull out using the raptor claw tip, pop into it, and cut it open, and then they can put it back in their hair, because after all, it's just a hair clip. Brilliant, huh? So anyway, those are linked below, as well as a 10% off promo code that is exclusive to this broadcast and this broadcast alone. Apologies if you are watching this later and the actual recorded version of this. I'm not entirely sure if that promo code will show up, but I can turn it off like that, and then I can turn it on. Isn't that cool? Save 10% off those. A very, very good deal. And of course, the last thing in my carousel right there is my chicken coop, which I mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast. And that means that after I end this, you're going to have to go back and see my urban chicken coop. It's pretty awesome. I'm so happy. So that is it, my ladies and minions. Wow, that was a fun broadcast. I am so glad that you did join me. As a matter of fact, if you are on Facebook, you are welcome to go over there. That's how you spell my name, Beau Chevassus. Some people say Beau. Don't know why, but they do. It's French, by the way. I am American, but my name is French. Beau Chevassus. Some people say Beau Chevassus, and if you know me, I'm impossible to offend. You can call me that, and I won't take it to heart. Do you know why? Because first of all, I'm a Christian, and I recognize that everybody needs grace. But second of all, you have known my name for maybe 15 seconds. So shame on me for trying to shame you for not being as intimately familiar with my name that I've had with me for 36 years. You know? So if someone messes up your name, don't take it personally. I know it's the most beautiful sound that your ears will ever hear, but that's simply because it's new to them. So it's very important that you are gracious to people who didn't quite hear you, because that's me. You know, I go up to a teenager at youth group and I'm like, hey, I'm Bo. And they're like, I'm like, what was that? I said my name is Carlton, made up name. It's like, oh, well, sorry. I've only known you for literally 2 seconds, so maybe cut me a break. I know you've had your name for 13 years, but it's new to me. I didn't know what you were saying. A little pet peeve there. So be gracious, okay? All right, so that is it. I look forward to seeing you over on Facebook and all around. If you Google me, I am everywhere. But for right now, what a wonderful broadcast that was. I'm going to also try to be broadcasting tomorrow as well at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which I think would be 6 p.m. Eastern. And every day I try to calculate what are the most popular products and the most popular scores based off of my thousands of videos that I pushed out across YouTube and Facebook. And I choose those top ones so that you don't have to go sifting through those. And you're like, wow, what are other people buying, and what do they know that you don't necessarily know? But thanks to you tuning into this broadcast, now you do know. Aha! So not only educational, but also entertaining. That's it. I might go shave my firefighter mustache right now because I tried to kiss my wife earlier and she very carefully gave me a kiss. She still did. But yeah, I think it's a little much for her. But I was having fun because previously I had a full beard. And if you're a dude, you know that, you like to experiment with different shaving features as you're going along. Isn't this fun? So much fun. All right, so I am out of here. You can see that on the chat. What? It doesn't autocorrect. There we go. And I'm going to say, thank you so much for joining, especially my 2.1 thousand followers, ! Hey, there you go. Oh, it actually wrote out ! Silly people. There we go. Let's throw an emoji in there too. Oh, that's an inappropriate emoji. Let's do that one. No, I'm going to do the clown because I talked about being a professional mime at the beginning of this broadcast. Isn't that interesting? You're probably going to ask what everybody asks. Can you do a mime routine? Oh, well, I need some music here. Oh, you know what? Ooh, that's funky. I like that. No, let's do different music. Music is key, very key, because when you are a mime, there's no atmosphere. And so you need music to cut through that atmosphere and to give people something to laugh over, because no one will ever laugh when it's quiet. Isn't that fascinating? Plus, you may be like, wow, Bo, you're a really horrible mime because you're talking. Well, few people actually know this, but there's mime etiquette. Let's see if that actually dictates correctly. Oh, it says metikit. Metikit? No, I said mime etiquette. All of these subtitles are automated. Yeah, it says my etiquette, but you guys know mime, as in pantomime etiquette. There it goes. It did that. Pantomime etiquette. Woohoo! Regardless, when you have an incomplete mime outfit on, that means you're able to talk. It's true. So if, for example, I'm done with a mime routine, I'm going to take my glove off and then I'll be able to correspond and talk with people. Or if I lose my hat, or if I take off a suspender, something of that nature, then I can talk. So if you ever see a mime get mad, take his glove off, oh, you know it's go time. You run. No, I'm kidding, because mimes are lovable creatures. Clowns are scary though. Mimes are great. They're so much fun. But I'm partial because I am a mime. I'll show you right now how to do a mime routine. This is going to be ending the broadcast, okay? So when you take an object, we call this an illusion, which interestingly enough, a magician makes the visible invisible. A mime makes the invisible visible. Ooh, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Isn't that interesting? So let's say, for example, this right here. Oh, that's refreshing. I can do that. I can also do that as a mime. And there are 3 steps to doing it. Wind up, snap, release. you want to do it along with me, you're certainly welcome to. See, not only educational, but also entertaining on my broadcast. That's what makes me unique as an influencer here on Amazon. Wind up, snap, release. So let's pretend that there's a water bottle in the air in front of us right here. You're going to wind up, snap, you do whatever you like with it, and then release. Wind up, snap, release. If you can polish and dial in those movements, you can make anything out of thin air as a mime. That's true. So for example, the glass box is simply the wall. Wind up, snap, release. That's it. Wind up, snap, release, release. Oh, we need more music. Like I said before, music is atmosphere. There we go. All right, let's do the glass box, shall we? Isn't that just so much fun? Yeah, wind up, snap, release. And you can do that. You can be walking a dog, you can be parachuting, you can be climbing a ladder, you can pull a sword out, you can have a sword fight with another mime. Wind up, snap, release. It's as simple as that. It's actually not that simple. I've been doing it for many, many years. But same idea. Wind up, snap, release, release. The rope is another one. Wind up, snap, pull the rope, snap, release. There we go, like that. Again, I can talk as a mime because my costume is not complete at the moment. But yes, I have a smorgasbord of all sorts of side hustles. I forgot to add that to that would be number 9. I am a mime. I actually just got a phone call yesterday from a sweet gal who was like, hey, I need you to mime for New Year's. I'm just like, man, I'm doing a lot of things right now. So I had to say no to her. I think it offended her a little bit because she was looking forward to hiring me back as a professional pantomime. But I'd much rather do this with you guys. This is a lot more fun. So there you go. Hey, happy Sunday, John at Maryland. Hey, nice to see you. Oh, just a moment. Nice to see you, my friend. Exclamation mark. Whoosh, there we go. Dictation. Isn't that just wonderful? Man, believe me, I would have typed something else that I would have no idea. Hey, John, I got a mustache today, man. Yeah, my wife likes it. I was going for the firefighter look. So that's it. I'm going to head out right now. So glad for you to join me today. I hope you got to know me a little bit better, especially the pantomime side of me. Yes, I do mime, and that was a lot of fun. Tomorrow, I'm going to be accumulating what has been the most popular items here on Amazon according to my video reviews, the thousands of reviews that I have published, and I have sneak peek access to those reports, and I know what is popular, and I give you that information so that you're wondering, hey, am I missing anything? Aha, now you know. So that's it, this beautiful September 4th Sunday. I hope you went to church. If not, go next week. It's good for you. That's it, everybody, and catch you over on Facebook right there. Remember, you are special, God loves you, and I love you as well. You are important. Catch you later.